Hello everyone, welcome to Mind, Body and Heart Tower Therapy. I'm here to do the reading for the new moon coming, the Libra new moon on the 28th of September. I hope you all are well. This is a collective, a general reading for the collective. So if it resonates, and if it doesn't, it just doesn't. Do not try to fit it in or to stretch it. Use your own intuition to see what messages apply and in what way do they apply for your own story, your own drama, and your own casting. All right, guys, so I'm gonna shuffle your cards. Our cards, really, because as I said, it's a collective reading for everyone. And what comes out first is the Nine of Swords. Why am I not surprised? So it's anxiety and fears. It's good to look, maybe. This is a gentle new moon. It's I'm not going to go too much into the astrology of it. You can look it up. But it's a gentle new moon. We have good conversations and supportive energy coming through from the planets and so on. So yeah. Check it out. But from the safety of that new moon and from the safety of the supportive energy, it's maybe time to look into our fears and anxieties. Where do they come from? Why is it that? What keeps us awake? What keeps us stressed and unable to stay in the present moment, maybe? Okay, what else do we have? The Libra season, it's a lot about relationships. So it may very well be this just turned. I'll just take it. So it may very well be that our anxieties and fears related to relationships are coming through. And the way we are relating to these fears and anxieties is very important as well. Okay, so the Eight of Pentacles showed up as well. I'm not going to assign positions this time. I enjoy a lot doing readings also more fluidly, just like reading through the energy, allowing the energy to come through and see where that's taking us. So we have the Ace of Pentacles. There's huge opportunity in this. Allowing ourselves to really look into these fears and to start seeing what our repressed thoughts are actually telling us. What is really hiding there? Whenever we have like small obsessions, obsessive thoughts coming through, a song that stays in your mind that would never go for forever. Whenever we feel agitated and anxious about something in the future, it's because we are afraid that something from the past will repeat itself. So it's a lot of information in there if you stay with it, if you observe it, if you don't judge it, if you don't try to push it away, but really, really observe the process of how your mind is really trying to protect you, really, but doing so from a hurt place, you know, creating those blind spots. So look into the blind spots. And there's huge opportunity for that. And there you go, like, yeah, it's our minds is trying to protect us from what really hurts. What really hurts is the emotional hurt from the past, you know. So this Five of Cups here is showing us that there is that spot within us that needs attention, that the mind is trying to keep us busy, but it's also our subconscious is sending us messages like, look there's something that you're not seeing and you're not giving space for. And it's something that needs to be released and something to be shed off. And the Five of Cups is a good energy in the sense that as you shed off, you open up to the future. As you allow this yourself to really feel the hurt that's there and allow yourself to simply feel through, release it in a safe way, in an organized way, not just going in there and get lost in your pain and reliving and re-traumatizing yourself. That's not the point. The point is to do it in a rather you have like the Five of Cups comes right after the Four of Cups, which the Four of Cups brings us a little bit into a place of apathy, in a place of like the world does not taste as good as it used to, and is not as interesting, and we get a little bit like drawn inwards and desensitized, a little bit depressed maybe. But that's where you actually get some emotional stability. You don't feel much of anything really. And then the Five of Cups, it allows you to feel, it allows you to get out of that numbness and to cry it out, to release it, to really really allowing space for whatever it is, that the loss that you've been feeling and the missing part that you've been, maybe you've carrying that emptiness within you for a while. There's, once this is released, there's joy, there's ability to feel again something new without the fear attached to it. What else is coming for us for the new moon in Libra? All right, so we have the Knight of Wands. Yes, once the release happens, your passion can come back. Your thirst for life, for knowledge, for adventure, for expansion, for growth. Your passion starts running through you because there's space for it. You know, when we carry things for a long time from out of, and when we carry that fear of what may come through, and I don't know, situations repeating themselves, like when we are afraid of relationships, for example, we want to go in, we feel lonely, we want to start a new relationship, but we're terrified of the idea of a relationship as well. Maybe it's not for everyone, like that's just a scenario, you know. And maybe we have this anxiety, okay, here I am going out there, putting myself out there somehow, but I'm afraid of what that does that mean. It means allowing myself to be vulnerable again. It means allowing someone in. What if I'm going to be rejected? What if I'm going to be abandoned? What if I'm going to be rejected, really? You know, that's it. It's fear of rejection most of the time. When the Nine of Swords come through, it's like fear of something that did happen in the past. And we all carry a certain degree of trauma, whether it's like lighter and something that it's easy to process, or something that's really heavy and complex. But we do carry this reminiscence of fear of rejection and fear of attachment, really, an unhealthy attachment that leads to codependency, that can lead to all kinds of dysfunctions in our relationships. But once we really create the space for it and for the release, and when I'm saying like release this in a safe way, it means if you have any knowledge of how to do this, like dedicate time to, I don't know, do the meditation, do the breath work, do something that's really like cleansing, spiritual baths, whatever. If you can do this, do it. But if you notice that it's not really helping and it's taking you in darker places and you're not able to cope, then ask for help. Maybe start like seek professional help from a counselor or psychologist, or a healer of some sort, something that you can relate to, something that really talks to you and you feel listened, and you feel like it's the space that you need is created. It can be even like, I don't know, going to church if that's your thing. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you dedicate space and time for it and everything that is needed, so you don't get yourself re-traumatized, but you go through the process of release. And then you can move to this place of um, expansion and growth. This is like Sagittarius energy, and Sagittarius is run by Jupiter. Jupiter has to do a lot with growth and expansion. And it is the knights, like the knights in tarot, are all about expansion and growth, about exploring. And the Knight of Wands in particular is the explorer. It's the one that goes from one place to another in order to have the experience. He learns through the experience. He's growing through the experience, not go locking oneself up into one's mind and reliving and projecting all kinds of fucked up scenarios of how everything can go wrong. It's actually going out there and having the experience. Where's this taking us? Oh, okay, beautiful. Straight to the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles being able to really connect to that place of building up your empire, building up, like, what kind of legacy are you leaving behind you, connecting maybe also to the wisdom of the old times, and that can be like from your own family tradition. Like, think how your grandparents or grandparents would have dealt with the situation, if there's any wisdom in that. It can also be wisdom just to see how to not do like how to not act what is not really helping. Because our parents and grandparents and grandparents come from really, really dark places most of the time, you know, like there was so much war, there was so much, like, we carry all that trauma in our DNA, and it kind of passes on from generation to generation. And we can look at what is it that we're carrying in that sense, but we can also look for the wisdom of the elders, for the wisdom of the maybe way back from when we were tribal, where humanity lives in tribes, and how things were being solved in a tribe, or how people were like so much more connected to the earth. This is Pentacles energy, so it could have to do with this, with like really being connected to the earth, and having, like, enjoying the fruits of the earth, really. The Ten of Pentacles is like the culmination of life journey. And it's amazing, you know, we have the Knight of Wands to lead us there. And we can go there once we start releasing, and once we see the opportunity in simply really observing the mind. Is not about stopping the thoughts, because we can't really do this. If we try to stop the thoughts and clear the mind forcefully, what happens is that the mind will start resisting and it hides deeper. But if we simply observe with no judgment, observe, and if you can muster some compassion, that's even better. Okay, one more card. The Hermit. Yes, the Hermit means go within. The Hermit means bringing, like, the healing light into the darkest corners of our psyche. Once we stop judging, once we stop, like, seeing the opportunity in being developing the observer mind, once we start releasing what's been holding us back, and the pain and the suffering that the mind is doing our best to create a blind spot to, because it's too painful to feel. Once we actually go there and start feeling some of that pain without getting lost in it, without like feeling sorry for ourselves, it's okay to feel the compassion, it's okay to feel connected, it's okay to relate to that point of pain as if you would relate with a little child, trying to coach yourself through it, or simply listen, you know, connect and listen. It's not even coaching that's important, it's really feel through, listen, hold space, and loving awareness for yourself. And then you can go into this place of expansion and experience and exhilarating adventures, and moving into, you know, if it's connected to relationship, like being more daring and more bold, and exploring a little bit possibilities out there. and coming to this place of culmination, coming to this place of legacy, and like understanding our own legacy, and understanding what we want to leave behind and what we want to move towards. That all happens, allows us to go deeper. This enables us to be in this hermit energy, to be okay to be alone without having to be codependent, like whether in a relationship or not, being able to hold space for oneself, being able to take alone time. And especially when in relationship, it's harder to take alone time, when not in a relationship, it's actually we have a lot of time and we don't really know how to put it to good use. But when we are in relationship, it's much harder to have alone time, and we get tempted to just like spend time together, do this, do that, duties. We're afraid sometimes to put boundaries for a long time because we're afraid to hurt the other, and so on and so on. But the point is that the hermit carries here the star, and the star card has to do with healing and with emotional healing, especially, and with feeling guided and connected to the universe. And the hermit brings exactly this, brings the hope into the darkest corners of yourself. It's bringing the shadows into, and this is what happens in new moons. This is how we can use the new moon energy, allowing ourselves to like really, really feel through the shadow, feel through the darkness, allowing ourselves to be comfortable in that darkness, and gently approach whatever we find in there with love and compassion, with hope, and with hope, awareness, observation. Right, I just want to clarify this, class. So what is it that... Okay. We're afraid of boundaries. We're afraid of putting boundaries, and we're afraid of other people putting boundaries. Because we feel like rejection when people put boundaries for themselves, and we're on the receiving end of the boundaries. We feel like, what did I do to trigger this? It's something wrong with me, or have I crossed some lines here? We can really feel rejected. Boundaries aren't an easy thing, whether you want to put them or whether you're receiving it. It's always like really, really complicated. And also this time to re-examine the boundaries. Maybe sometimes we can put certain boundaries maybe 5 years ago that were needed at a time, that maybe now they're not needed anymore. I need to shut them off, I need to let them go, and I need to adapt my boundaries. Maybe I can relax that part of myself now because I've outgrown it, or I've done some healing in that sense, and I'm more comfortable with, say, more intimacy or shared space or things like that. But maybe my boundaries need to go in a different directions now. I always need to keep them updated and to communicate them, and to have the courage to also let go of the boundaries that are not necessary anymore. What's the opportunity about? What's the Ace of Pentacles here? Why? Judgment, yes. There's an opportunity for rebirth. There's an opportunity for really, really, like, this is real healing, Judgment. It's a little bit tough, it's intense, but it's important. It's what really helps us move to the next step. It's double 10, it's 20. Also relates to number 2. It's like growth out of a cycle. See, these people, they're coming out from the graves, and they get the salvation, they get the it's that part when our soul sheds off a skin, really sheds off a skin like a snake does, and says, okay, I've been carrying this for long enough, this energy, I can let go of it. it's a pure assessment of where am I at and how am I coping, what can I readjust, but not readjust in the sense of like, I don't like this, I want to change it, I don't like myself, I want to blah blah blah. No, it's more about how close am I to healing certain parts of myself and form healthier connections and so on and so on, and readjust the path in order to accommodate that. That it comes from a place of pure awareness. It's not about judgment in the sense of like, this one goes to hell, this one goes to heaven, you've done good, you've done bad. No, it's really knowing how to, like, seeing the path ahead so you know where to steer the ship, to see where's the dangerous, tumultuous waters and where's the clear waters, and what is it that you need, what direction you need to navigate in. What is the Five of Cups here? What's the loss about? What is it that needs to be shed off and let go of? What's the grief about? Well, for many of us, it can be like the loss of a relationship or the loss of a home or the loss of something that really meant a lot to us, that gave us that stability, that gave us that space, that container for our passion to be held in. And you see, these are like containers, they're spilled off, and this person here is like really sad about it, right? And it's necessary to take the time and say our, like, bid our goodbyes here, really feel through and let it go. And of course it's important not get stuck in there, but if something, whatever it is that you lost, that felt like went right at your core. This is a 4, and it's a 4 of wands. The wands have to do with spirituality and with your passion, and the 4s have to do with stability, but 4 is also the heart chakra. It is a loss of something that was really important and dear to you, that created that stability of your core, but that needs to change now. And it is changing, like it's out of your hands. What you can do is find ways to cope with this in a healthy way. That means really don't just like trying to run away from the pain and do anything, whatever you can do to not feel through it, to keep yourself like cross over your own boundaries only so that you can be with people, or humiliate yourself in certain ways so that you get receive the like whatever, just take me back. That's what's been lost. It's been lost and you will never get it back, but it's important for you to make peace with that in order to create something new and make room for that growth and expansion. Okay, why is the Knight of Wands here? What's the growth and expansion about? What part of you grows here? Where is that passion going, taking you? Building up really important relationships, like something that, like learning from other people, not just telling them about me or only doing things to please them or whatever. This is like healthy relationships. This is people working together in order to build something. It's building something into the real world, whether it's like joining actual work projects together with people that you can learn from, and you can use your skills and abilities, that whatever makes you put it on the table and allow that to be to have a contribution, and you can be listened, and you can be heard, and that contribution is being taken at the table, and these other people do the same, and that's where growth happens. Because I don't know you, I may know you for a long time, but I can't know what it means to be you. I need you to share that with me. I need you to stand up for yourself. I need you to put the boundaries when you need the boundaries. I need you to express yourself. And it's the same for me. You may know me for a long time, but you don't have no clue what it really means to be me. And that's how we really, really learn through, that's how we build something bigger. Learning through our differences, as well as from what like keeps us together, and channeling that in order to do something constructive. Whether it's, it can be for work, but it can also be for fun, like creative projects together with friends, something that gives you a container, an outlet for expression and for your passion. Okay, I saw this one before, wanted to show up. So see, you have the 10 of Pentacles with the 3 of Wands. The 3 of Wands shows up when you've done what you needed to do, and there's 3 right next to each other, so it's a lot of resolution happening here. So the 3 of Wands comes to tell you that you've done the work, you've called in your ships there, and now you can rest and wait for whatever you sent out there to bring its returns. Do not beat yourself up, not stress out about it, do not push yourself. Like, know that you've done the work, and if there's something more to be done, do it from a place of calmness. Look at what you've put out there and understand what you can, what's going to come to you from a place of groundedness and awareness. You're looking into your past and you're looking into your future here, but you're not looking from the place of oh my god, I've been hurt, or this or this or that. You're looking from a place of grounded awareness and joy and celebration. 10 of Pentacles, a lot about celebration. Why is the Hermit here? Six of Swords. We're moving away from there. That's what's happening. Six of Swords has to do with like really moving you away from a way of thinking that's not helping, from the defense mechanisms that are functioning in redundancy, and they're not really helping anymore. We all need defense mechanisms. We all need to protect ourselves from from things that had hurt us in the past, and we need to prevent that from happening again. But we also learn that we need to feel through what happened in order to let go of, and we can, with the Six of Swords, we can move away from, say, victim mentality, or feeling always abused, or actually, if you're on the other side, from the need to hurt. Sometimes we have the need to put someone down in order to lift ourselves up. Sometimes we have, like, if you think about relationships, you can have like these idealized relationships, and we make them so unreal that that's never going to happen, and we set ourselves up for failure and rejection, and so on and so on. We have these like absurd expectations of ourselves or the partner or of anyone else. Therefore, And Hollywood and romanticism is not necessarily helping. We've been idealizing. We've been how are we pushing ourselves? How are we punishing ourselves? How are we punishing other people for mirroring back at us our own what we consider to be faults and traits that we don't like? You're moving away from that, and this is what this energy has the potential to do if you roll with it, if you flow with it. Okay, I'm just gonna pull out spirit card to get a quick message from the wisdom of the heart from our dear Rumi. Balana Fairchild. Passion for purpose. Well, there you go. That's what was happening with this whole Five of Cups versus the Knight of Wands coming through. We're opening ourselves for our passion. We're opening ourselves for purpose. I'm going to read to you a little bit about this. If I find... Oh, where? There you are. Okay, so this is the number 2. Number 2, it's connected to this judgment card that showed up here. So, sorry guys. So the poem from Rumi associated to this card says, love, like life, flows through the heart. Feel the thrill of the flow and say nothing. That's exactly it. Just feel it. Feel it through. Okay, so I'm gonna read through it like really fast, just a few stuff. So life supports all being based on their true nature. The birds are given air in which to fly, and the fish are given water in which to swim. So it is with humanity. Each one of us has something in our hearts that means something to us. It is irrelevant whether it seems practical or a recipe for success or not. We're simply meant to be what we are, to serve life faithfully from a place of honoring the truth of our nature, that which we genuinely feel passionate about, and to allow for life to naturally support growth according to a genuine nature. This oracle comes to you with guidance. You are being initiated more deeply into your life purpose. Your passion will reveal itself to you with more depth, nuance, and beauty than ever before. If parts of your life are disassembling or do not seem to be working out as you planned, there are symptoms of this passionate revelation. Be curious and open to what presents itself in the wake of the falling away. Be ready for the journey within now. You are strong. The journey within. You are strong enough to leave behind the need for validation, whilst you learn to validate yourself. In time, soon enough, in fact, you shall reveal your innermost beauty and be witnessed and received, acknowledged for your innate values, purpose, and divinity. But for now, sweet beloved, dive deep, be defiant and determined to honor your heart so your deep passion may be witnessed by you and eventually naturally make it easy into sacred expression in the world. If you have recently discovered a new talent or purpose, or have been dreaming of guidance and confirmation, you are excited. Follow that excitement. Let it lead you into your own heart truth and onto an ever more passionate path of purposeful living. Well, I hope, for the sake of all of us, that we are going to not allow the mind to terrify us from moving through this energy, but to really feel through, to allow that which needs to be let go, and be able to flow into our passion and reach into our purpose. All right, darlings, I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope it resonates. If it does, please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you here soon for the readings for October for each and every sign. All right, have a beautiful new moon and Libra season.